very quickly. Water coming up. You know, we had this initial push, and it's still coming in. I mean, you can literally see it rising. That is amazing how quick that happened. So remember, the wind holding back the sound when it was offshore here or from the east, and now that it's come around from the west, you can really see it just bring that water in. I mean, look at this. When I left you last, I was down here talking. Now I'm way up here, and here's where the water is right now. So this is how we get the flooding. This is the big concern here and what we're going to deal with as we work our way through the morning hours here, guys. And hopefully nobody's trapped out on the roads or whatnot, because we do think that some of these areas are going to flood.
Amazing stuff out of Cantore. You went 16, 17 hours or so straight for coverage.
I know. Only the can man can do that.
Yeah. You know, some encouraging news is that the damage doesn't seem bad. Some bad news is that we read reports this morning of a lot of residents didn't evacuate there. So there's the kind of, good news it didn't turn out poorly, but bad news that apparently in the Outer Banks not heeding all the warnings there.
Yeah, but the ones that did leave can come back now and maybe enjoy the rest of the weekend.
Yeah, in time for the weekend. All right, we talked about what it did in the Carolinas, but wait, it's going to have an effect on other parts of the East Coast as well.
Yeah, New York always puts the show for the 4th of July. We'll see what's going to happen with this approaching hurricane.
From safety to fuel economy to quality, today's Chevrolet has it all. And it's a great time to buy. During the Chevy 72-hour sale, you'll get 0% APR for 72 months, plus no monthly payments for the rest of the summer. 0% APR for 72 months, plus no monthly payments for the rest of the summer. Hurry, the Chevy 72-hour sale ends Monday. Find new roads at your local Chevy dealer.
David's heart attack didn't come with a warning. Today, his doctor has him on a Bayer aspirin regimen to help reduce the risk of another one. If you've had a heart attack, be sure to talk to your doctor before you begin an aspirin regimen.
Currently in our area, 90 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Independence Day, scattered thunderstorms. High 89. Winds south at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Chance of rain 60%. Tonight, partly cloudy with isolated thunderstorms possible. Low 76. Chance of rain 30%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Thunder Dragons. It's time to get a hotel.
Hey, Razor, check this out. We can save big with Priceline Express deals.
You know what, man? These guys ain't no dragons.
They're cool. These deals are legit.
Hey, we're cool. She's cool. We're cool.
Priceline Express deals are totally legit. Check this. Thousands of people book them every day and score killer deals. Now Priceline is piling on even more savings with its summer sale. So grab your giant beach towel and enter code SUMMER14. Look at me enjoying the deals.
That's smooth. Transform your worn weather deck into a beautiful barefoot-friendly surface with Olympic Rescue It wood and concrete resurfacer.
Who are you talking to?
Olympic Rescue It, from America's most trusted brand since 1938. Available at Lowe's.
There once was a hungry road that ate up tires, wearing down the tread and wearing out safety, leaving worried drivers with no choice but to buy new ones. Then along came the Michelin Man, who proved the right tire changes everything, putting those drivers back on the road with safety that lasts. Find the right tire for you at MichelinMan.com. Michelin, a better way forward.
Discover Brookside and discover an exciting combination of tastes. Rich dark chocolate covering soft centers, flavored with exotic fruit juices. It's chocolate and fruit flavors like you've never experienced before. Discover Brookside.
Searching with devotion for a snack that isn't lame, but this takes my breath away.
15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Yeah, everybody knows that.
Well, did you know that playing cards with Kenny Rogers gets old pretty fast?
You got to know when to hold 'em, know when to fold 'em, know when to walk away, know when to run. You never count your money.
If you want the best of baseball all season long, Xfinity from Comcast gives you the best seat in the house. With MLB Network, you get live games 4 nights a week, plus 24/7 insider coverage and live look-ins every night. It's your all-access pass to all of Major League Baseball. Get MLB Network plus over 80 additional channels when you upgrade to Digital Preferred TV for just $9.99 more a month for 12 months. Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. Call 1-800-XFINITY today.
Behavioral Health of the Palm Beaches Recovery Center for Men provides quality, evidence-based treatment to men battling addiction. Offering medical detox, expert counseling from licensed clinical therapists, and activity-based therapies, we help men overcome their addiction and rebuild their lives. We understand the unique substance abuse issues that men face and are ready to help you take your life back. Visit rehabformen.com to get your fresh start.
Refund the shipping and even pay the return postage. Try NoNo risk-free today.
Everything worked out fine through the storm. It didn't quite come in the house, but it came pretty close. You can see the water line on it.
Yeah, a lot of cleaning up to do, but we'll all stick together.
We're okay, man.
All right, we're still watching Hurricane Arthur, and as it moves up the East Coast, it could be kind of a washout for communities in the Northeast this 4th of July.
Yeah, NBC's Ron Allen is in Long Beach, New York, with a look at how the weather could impact the 4th of July plans.
This is what we've been expecting all day. A steady rain is starting to fall now. The beach is pretty much deserted except for a few diehards over here. You can see the lifeguards are in position just in case people want to come out here. Earlier there were surfers, but now the seas have calmed down even. It's more flat. We had waves up to 2 to 4 feet, and they still think it can get higher as the evening goes on and the storm Arthur gets closer to this part of the country. It's still perhaps a couple of hours away now around the middle of the day here. But as you can see, not a beach day, pretty much a washout. A lot of concern about rip currents out there. We've talked to some of the lifeguards, and they say that this part of the beach is particularly prone to that because of the unevenness of the sandbars. So a big concern, but of course no one's in the water. Just a few folks out there, some surfers earlier. The lifeguards still on duty just in case, but they're still monitoring the situation here very carefully because it's still unpredictable. Storms, unpredictable. Everyone says you just can't take these things for granted. So here in Long Beach, New York, watching things closely while the rain falls and the storm moves closer. Now back to you.
All right, thanks very much, Ron. Very, very active for the coastal areas of North Carolina, but now Arthur is moving northward.
It is. Let's bring in our specialist, Dr. Ed Postel. And Dr. Postel, now you're shifting some focus towards Jersey and even into Connecticut.
Yeah, you have to. I mean, it's raining pretty hard right now on the Jersey coast. In fact, we have a tower cam from Atlantic City to show you just that, where I think gradually in the next hour or two, things are going to clear out and the rain's going to end. But up and down the Jersey coast, farther to the north and over eastern Long Island, still raining pretty hard. Look at the radar. You can see that, in fact, we've got a lot of rain even up here in eastern New York State. That's associated with the frontal zone moving in from the west. That's helping to push Arthur away. This stuff kind of right in the middle, that's a combination between the lift out ahead of that front and some of Arthur's energy, so to speak. But all this stuff down here, that is Hurricane Arthur. Hurricane Arthur made landfall last night at 11:15 p.m. Eastern Time as a Category 2 hurricane with 100-mile-per-hour winds at Shackelford Banks, North Carolina. That is right about there. So you can see it came ashore as a Cat 2 and brought some Cat 2 wind gusts with it. Can't deny that. Cape Lookout had 101-mile-per-hour wind gust. Ocracoke Island, 99-mile-per-hour wind gust. Right now, it's not as strong. It's still a formidable Category 1 hurricane with 90-mile-per-hour winds on estimation there from the hurricane hunters. Moving northeast at 24 miles per hour, that is moving it away from the Mid-Atlantic and New Jersey coasts, but it's getting closer, a little bit anyway, to southern New England and parts of eastern Long Island. Let's have a look at the satellite pictures, and there it is. The center's still defined there, but we don't have quite the same reds and yellows in the cloud tops that we did before. Some of the thunderstorms aren't quite as strong or as tall as they were earlier, and that has something to do with the fact that we've got a strong jet stream now that's working its way into the system from the west and is pushing it out to sea. So we're going to see perhaps even an acceleration acceleration and forward motion later on today. Let's time out Arthur and its precipitation this afternoon, showing you that pretty soon it's going to be over for the Jersey coast and New York. By 8 o'clock, things look pretty good, but we'll still have a northwest wind, dry wind, but one that's maybe 10 to 20 miles per hour at times across parts of the region. However, in southern New England, keep an eye on what's going on down here. Arthur's going to be scraping this area with tropical storm conditions, with gusts over 50 miles per hour, likely, I think, in Nantucket, and maybe even in southeastern Cape Cod with a lot of rain. So it's going to be kind of a nasty, windy, rainy night there. And then it's going to head up tomorrow morning, very early in the morning, to coastal Maine and down east Maine. Maybe some wind gusts over 40 to 50 miles per hour there, east of Bangor. And then it's going to go into the Canadian Maritimes tomorrow by about lunch. So it's going to end fairly quickly from left to right or from west to east. But we're going to have to deal with tonight, where we do have tropical storm warnings out for Cape Cod and Nantucket Island. And we have actually a timing for Nantucket to show you that we've got overnight tonight, 9 o'clock, sustained winds 47 miles per hour, gradually diminishing as we head through the afternoon tomorrow. Here's the official cone from the Hurricane Center. You can see that they move Arthur relatively quickly toward the northeast and weakening it along the way as it encounters stronger winds aloft and some cooler waters. So that's good news. Soon enough, we'll be able to put Arthur to bed. Guys, back to you.
Let's do that. Let's put it to bed and not let him wake up. All right, well, the worst is over for North Carolina, but the remnants of Arthur still expected to impact some 4th of July forecasts in the Northeast.
Our coverage continues with a look at some of the aftermath, and we'll let you know which areas are still dealing with dangerous rip currents. Keep it right here.
Currently in our area, 90 degrees under cloudy skies. Independence Day, scattered thunderstorms. High 89. Winds south at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Chance of rain 60%. Tonight, partly cloudy with isolated thunderstorms possible. Low 76. Chance of rain 30%. Here's our 7-day outlook. From the Weather Channel headquarters in Atlanta, you're watching Hurricane Central.
All right, check out this video just into the Weather Channel. Take a look at this boardwalk, completely washed out as Arthur hit North Carolina early this morning. A perfect example of the power of storm surge, and that has been a big story with Arthur thus far.
Yeah, we have new video now of the hurricane hitting the Morehead City area in North Carolina, of course, areas overnight into this morning. Good natural sound, and actually you can see sparks of power lines being blown away there. Wow, yeah. Look at the water.
And that guy doing his best Cantori impersonation in front of the car. And here's another look at what's going on. The water's so high here. This is Hatteras Island, North Carolina, that it's close to the front door of that building there. And again, it's all about the water, the storm surge thus far. Hurricane Arthur causing fireworks of its own on this 4th of July. Welcome to Weather Center Live. I'm Keith Carson.
And I'm Vivian Brown. Yes, it is the 4th of July. Thanks so much for joining us as we've been following Hurricane Arthur. It is the first Category 2 hurricane to make landfall in the U.S. since 2008.
Let's show you what's going on right now. The latest information on Hurricane Arthur. Arthur heads north towards New England. North Carolina Governor Pat McCrory warns this state, quote, to take this very seriously as we did and hope for the best results. So giving some advice in through New England. Right now, the coastal areas of New England under a high surf advisory for Saturday. So if you had to play it out in the water, just use extra caution there, particularly along the coastline in New England. We also know Arthur's reach has central and southeast New Hampshire and southern Maine under flash flood watches. So getting around those areas could be dangerous. That's a combination of that cold front and the moisture from Arthur kind of combining there.
Yeah, kind of the squeeze play along the New England coast. Okay, let's get more information on Hurricane Arthur as it moves up the New England coast. We'll turn it over to
Carl Parker. He's standing by at the expert desk. Carl?
Hey guys, I want to take you out to Seaside Riverside Heights, New Jersey, and show you what is unfortunately not a very good 4th of July. A lot of rain here. Temperature now 66 degrees. There's elevated surf as well. So not the best of July 4ths, but at least this storm is well offshore and will continue to be. So it's going to be gusty and it's going to be wet, and that's about it. Here is a look at the most critical period for our hurricane. It made landfall at 11:15 last night. Notice the timing in the upper right-hand corner here. And the entire trip over the eastern part of North Carolina, the sounds there, the Outer Banks, took about 6 hours in total. And we saw some really incredible winds right along the Outer Banks, which are these thin little islands right through there. And let's talk about some of those wind reports. 101 miles per hour. That is right about where the storm made landfall. It was between there and Beaufort, North Carolina. Pamlico Sound, 99 miles per hour. And Buxton, been there, sleepy little beach town as you drive down towards Cape Hatteras, 83 miles per hour was the wind gust there. All right, so right now it is a 90 mile per hour storm, a Category 1 storm. It really has been picking up forward speed, now moving northeast at 24 miles per hour. When we look at the satellite picture, we're not seeing as many of those deeper orange and red colors, meaning that the cloud tops are warming. The storm is not as strong as it once was, and it will continue to weaken slowly, but it is going to cause some problems. There's a look at the current winds and the rain shield, which is now coming up into southern New England. Not a lot of wind here yet, but a lot of rain. And in fact, there is already now a flash flood warning for Kent, Providence, and Washington counties. That going until 2:45. And here is the wind forecast. Tropical storm warnings in effect for southeastern Mass. Winds getting up to 40 to 50 in Nantucket by 9 o'clock tonight. By 11 o'clock tonight, going strong there, 50 to 60 miles per hour on the islands in southeastern Mass. Back to you guys.
All right, thanks very much, Carl. You know, we've been talking about Hurricane Arthur for the last couple of days, and another 24 hours we'll be talking about it. In fact, an incredible situation, actually a miracle happened as our own Dave Malkoff was in the middle of Hurricane Arthur.
Yeah, a woman gave birth on the Manteo Bridge in Manteo, North Carolina. Take a look at this.
We've made it to the other side of the bridge that connects Manteo to Nags Head. Look at all this storm surge that is cutting off the bridge and cutting off access for a woman who's in labor in a car, and she needs to get to the other side desperately so she can have that baby. Let's talk to this officer up here. Hey.
Yeah.
Where is she?
Right in back in that truck right there.
She's right back here? Hey, you guys, is everything all right in there?
We're good.
Yeah, up front here. Just hang on with me here. Here. Whoop. Oh. Well, there she goes. This is I guess you'd call that a deuce and a half. That truck there, the National Guard, they're gonna take them over the storm surge with the baby. She's in labor right now. Thought she was in the ambulance. She's actually in this deuce and a half right now. Watch them go through the water here. Think about this. She's in labor. She's going through, all the pains of labor, and she's, having contractions. And look at that. Look at that. You do not want to cross that in any other vehicle but something that has those big wheels there. I hope she makes it to safety. I hope it all turns out well. But you know what? If it's a boy, they better name it Arthur. We are on the flooded bridge between Manteo and Nags Head. I'm Dave Malkoff, the Weather Channel. Back to you.
I know, another Arthur is born. I love that name. Okay, let's check on the Northeast, because not only are we talking about Arthur coming up the coast, but also a cold front. So kind of a squeeze play along the New England coast, right, Keith?
Yeah, a squeeze play and not turning out well. Here's Coney Island, temperatures down. You can see water on the roads there. There's some rain moving in, the combination of that cold front, as Viv mentioned, and the outer bands of Arthur. So it's not the impact we had across the Carolinas, but it is just not a very nice day for the 4th of July. But we're going to clear out in a lot of spots as we head into the weekend. So that silver lining there. Take a look at the rain now moving in through New York City and through Long Island, Long Beach, and into Connecticut as well. This is some pretty heavy stuff in there. We've had some problems in Connecticut already with some flooding ongoing. You can see the outer bands there of Arthur, and here is the cold front that's steering it, trying to push it farther out to sea. It will do so. It'll take a jog to the north and east. But look at this heavy rain moving in through Rhode Island, again into the Providence area, getting hit hard with rain in through coastal parts of Massachusetts, Cape Cod, and then up into Maine. This is lighter stuff. This is the cold front right there. That's again going to shove it off to the north and east. So rain today, windy at times, particularly along the coast as Cape Cod gets hit with this storm tonight. By tomorrow, it's just down East Maine and mid-coast. Better, though, all the way through Sunday. Viv?
All right, thanks, Keith. Well, we have crews spread out across the coast of North Carolina surveying the damage from Hurricane Arthur and keeping an eye on where it's headed next. When we come back, NBC's Sarah Dolph joins us.
Check.
Energizer protects your devices from damaging leaks.
I'm a painter, and Scotch Blue is my tape.
I am a painter, and Scotch Blue is my tape.
Pro painters count on Scotch Blue. Now with advanced Edge-Lock paint line protector for even sharper paint lines.
I am a painter, and Scotch Blue is my tape.
Scotch Blue Painter's Tape.
In this bag is 150 years of Swedish experience in perfecting the rich, never bitter taste of Gevalia. We do it all for this very experience.
That's good.
I know, right? Gevalia.
Currently in our area, 90 degrees under cloudy skies. Independence Day, mixed clouds and sun with scattered thunderstorms. High 85. Chance of rain 60%. Tonight, partly cloudy with a slight chance of thunderstorms. Low 76. Chance of rain 30%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Let's unplug the past. Let's say goodbye to those. And hello to whoa. Let's find a better way to cook this. Wash that. Compare those and save these. Because you can make dinner. Or you can make dinner a breeze. Are you ready? Let's do this. More saving. More doing. That's the power of the Home Depot. Right now, this Maytag French door refrigerator, just $9.98.
Sonic has like every slush flavor someone could ever want.
That's right. This is basically slush headquarters.
Where sour blue raspberry plans world domination.
What?
Get colorful with new Sonic slushes, now available with Nerds Candy. This is how you Sonic.
Hi, Adam Richman here, guy from TV/beefeater/burger lover. Be sure you have 100% beef that's all natural, like this ground beef that I picked up at Walmart. For a great burger, here's a tip for grilling it up just right. Leave your burgers in peace. Don't poke them, don't move them, and definitely don't press them down with a spatula. Just throw them on a grill, flip it once, and you're on your way to burger bliss.
Try ground beef from Walmart today. It's 100% guaranteed or your money back.
I'm a loving husband and a real good dad, but weeds just make me rattlesnake mad. Well, Roundup has a sharpshooting wand. I'm sending them weeds to the great beyond. Roundup. Yeah. No need to pump, just point and shoot. Hit them in the leaves and it kills to the root. Ground fences, trees, even mulched beds, because the only good weed is a weed that's dead. Roundup. Yeah. Roundup. Yeah. With a one-touch wand.
This has been actually a very good day. There have been no casualties or serious injuries reported, and that was our number one goal. So that puts a big smile on all our faces.
All right, that's good news there. That was North Carolina Governor Pat McCrory talking about Hurricane Arthur's impacts to a state which turned out to be not as bad.
Not as bad, and that is such good news. But you know, Arthur, of course, was the 2014 Atlantic hurricane season's first hurricane. It made landfall late last night near Cape Lookout as a Category 2 hurricane.
Yeah, and Arthur delivered a powerful punch before racing out to sea. NBC's Sarah Doloff joins us live from Kill Devil Hills with the latest. And Sarah, you're in the jacket, but I see some people in shorts behind you.
Yeah, I'm the one that's not dressed appropriately for the weather right now because the sun has come out within the last half hour and it is turning into an absolutely beautiful day for folks because that is great news, of course, because Hurricane Arthur was the holiday guest that nobody wanted and everybody was thrilled to see leave. Now, earlier today, we had winds of 60 to 70 miles an hour. It was sideways rain. That is cleared out, and now the weather is tempting people. One warning we're looking at right now is from lifeguards and officials. They've been putting these red flags up along the beach. They're warning people to please avoid the water, that even though it's warming up and it's so tempting to get in right now, those dangerous rip currents are still so strong, even for experienced swimmers. They still present quite a hazard. Now, let me take you out here to the beach. This is one pretty dramatic effect of the hurricane that's left over that you guys can see. We've lost about 3 feet of the beach to erosion, and earlier today, it was not this gentle slope that it is now, but rather this steep drop-off. Already you can see the tide has come in. It's smoothed that over. During the next 3 to 4 days, we're going to see some of this sand return. It's not going to fix it completely, though. This beach is about 2 years away, Keith and Viv, from being refurbished as well. So naturally, it's going to take care of it a little bit until they come in and fill it with some more sand in a few years.
All right, short-term question for you here. Do you think people are going to be aware of the danger of going in the water when it gets really nice tomorrow?
Can you repeat that? I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. I said, do you think people are going to know the danger of going in the water with the rip currents when it gets nicer on the beach tomorrow?
That's a great question because in the short term, that's what people want to do. That's why they're here this week. Officials taking a very proactive approach, though. Right now, we've seen the lifeguard pickup truck going back and forth. They've got lifeguards stationed up and down the beach, kind of reminding people and keeping an eye on people who do decide to get in the water and possibly get in over their heads.
All right, thank you, Sarah, very much for that live report, and hopefully people do heed that warning. Let's go over to Viv now. You got an interesting little picture here coming up, don't you?
Yes, I do, because Sarah was reporting, of course, from Kill Devil Hills, and that's where our very own Jim Cantore is, and he tweeted this picture not too long ago, and the caption you see says, "So much for having a blizzard with my hurricane. 2 feet of water where it shouldn't have been." Of course, in Avon, North Carolina, you know, Dairy Queen, famous for their blizzards. So a very nice little caption there on all of the heavy rain that we had, and of course the water being pulled in to the area, the Outer Banks of North Carolina, all from Hurricane Arthur. Now the good news is that Arthur is moving away, so a much better scenario heading into the weekend for the coast of the southeast, but even the interior region still looking pretty good. As you can see, this is northern Georgia, around the Atlanta area. Temperatures right now only in the low 80s, and let me tell you, the humidity levels are low, so that's making it very, very nice outside in the Atlanta area. Even Montgomery, where it's 84 degrees, it's 81 right now in Jackson. Memphis checking in with 80 degrees. A little warmer down toward New Orleans, 85 degrees. 89 though in Miami. That is the warmest spot. So afternoon highs today in the low to mid 80s, but keep in mind the humidity levels will be low. Tomorrow, a little warmer than today. Montgomery should get up into the low 90s, and that will be the case on Sunday as well. But all's well that ends well. A very nice weekend over most of the southeast. Back to you, Keith.
All right, thanks, Viv. Well, we had crews out all night covering Arthur to let you know exactly what was happening and where. We're going to show you kind of a highlight reel of our overnight events.
Bridgestone tires perform best when you need it most.
Like when Julie Bowen is late taking her son to a birthday party.
Okay, people, you, front seat, you, out of my way. Julie has our new Drive Guard tires, the next generation of run flat technology.
Oh, good. Nails.
Oh, these tires are engineered to take a puncture and then drive up to 50 miles.
50 miles? Great, because I remember the present, but I forgot the kid.
Yeah, you need to check. Oh, I forgot. I have a lot of kids.
Defiance is in our bones. Defiance never grows old. Citracal Maximum, calcium citrate plus D. Highly soluble, easily absorbed.
Hi, honey. How's the camping trip?
Well, kids had fun, but I think I slept on a rock. What are you doing?
Having coffee.
Sounds good.
I thought you'd say that.
The best part of waking
You're the best.
Wake up to the mountain-grown aroma of Folgers.
Folgers in your cup.
That's smooth. Transform your worn weather deck into a beautiful barefoot-friendly surface with Olympic Rescue.
Sonoma, California, here you come. Yes, you could be on your way to beautiful Sonoma. Visit Isle Casino Pompano Park for our $20,000 Sonoma Saturday Sweepstakes. Saturday, July 26th from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. 5 winners get $250 in van play. At 10 p.m., 1 winner will be on their way to Sonoma with $15,000 in cash. Receive 1 free entry every day and earn more with play. Only at Isle Casino Pompano Park.
How does an investment manager build portfolios to stand the test of time? At Franklin Templeton, 60 years of investing through every kind of market has taught us to manage risk as vigilantly as we seek reward. This solid approach has made us a leading equity fund manager. Franklin Templeton Investments. Gain from our perspective. Ask your advisor for a full or summary prospectus with investment goals, risks, fees, expenses, and other information to read and consider carefully before investing.
Better at night. For a free quote, call 1-800-510-1822 or visit AIGdirect.com.
Stay tuned for your local on the 8s, brought to you by Lowe's, the place to save this 4th of July.
Kids are fed?
Kids are fed, homework is done, baths are taken.
I'm impressed. Looks like you've got everything under control.
We got it all under control here. We're all good, right, guys?
Yeah, we're all good here. Yep.
Love you guys.
Love you.
Bye. Love you.
Finally, a paint that's stain resistant and scrubbable. Introducing new Valspar Reserve. Now get $10 to $40 off our best paint and stains.
Currently in our area, 79 degrees with a heavy thunderstorm. Independence Day, mixed clouds and sun with scattered thunderstorms. High 85. Chance of rain 60%. Tonight, partly cloudy with a slight chance of thunderstorms. Low 76. Chance of rain 30%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Well, we've been on the air for a long time, our colleagues at least. Hurricane Arthur slammed the Outer Banks starting around 2 this morning.
And we talk about Hurricane Arthur. Of course, where there's a hurricane, there's always the Weather Channel. In particular, our storm tracker, Jim Cantori, and the one and only Mike Seidel. In fact, here's some of what they went through when it actually started to really ramp up.
Wow, what a morning here in Waves, North Carolina. We are really getting hammered with the wind. Winds are blowing about 60, 70 miles an hour. I understand from our friends here at Real Water Sports, they actually have wind buoys out there in the middle of Pamlico Sound. Winds are at 80 miles an hour right now from the east. So that's why the water is on the other side of the sound. But when those winds shift around, they're going to come back in pretty quickly here. We can expect that over the next probably couple of hours. Maybe less, probably less. Right now, that wind has already come back around from the west down toward Hatteras Island, and they've had flooding from the ocean between Frisco and Hatteras. All right. right? Cape Hatteras, the low point of the island. Wow. We've got about 21,000 people without power from what my producer Michelle Birnbaum tells me. That number has probably gone up since that report. And the winds, again, guys, are going to get even worse here because just off to my west, you can see it on radar as plain as day. Looks like the worst part of that eye wall, and we're going to stay in that, I think, or just barely get out of it if we're lucky enough. But that eye may head up right toward Kill Devil Hills. Let's bring in Mike Seidel, who's about 35 miles to my north. Mike, we're gusting 65, maybe 70 here. What are you dealing with in Kill Devil Hills?
Hey, Jim, I think we've gusted close to 40. That's about it. Again, we're about 30, 35 miles north of you. We've got a pretty significant rain band right now. Both of us have been talking about how strong the longshore drift is going from south to north. And it's on this board that's floated up. Jim, I'm going to throw this in the water right here. We've got the light, and I don't know if we can follow it, but we can see what happens. I don't know if you'll be able to see it, if we can follow it, but what's going to happen there, look how it's just going. Well, we've kind of lost it in the surf, but now, look at that. You can't even see it now. It's already about 50, 60 yards down the beach. Trust me, it is gone. And that's what's going on. Not only that's gone, but the sand is being eaten by these waves, which are ramping up. Again, we may take either the northern eye wall or may get into the eye. If you've been watching the radar, the northern part of the eye wall right now is not nearly as intense as the southern part where we have the brighter reds and oranges. We'll see if it wraps around. Needless to say, it's going to get really interesting here in the next several hours here at Kill Devil Hills. Again, we're on the north side of the Outer Banks. We're north of the Bonner Bridge, and we have a wider piece of terrain here, also more elevation, so we're not as susceptible to water going across 158 versus water and sand going across Highway 12 down where Jim is.
All right, our two guys out in their element, so to speak. Let's take a look at the satellite picture when Arthur made landfall. Officially around 11:15, that's when the eye wall there passes over some land of the Outer Banks. That it was a Category 2 storm with winds of 100 miles an hour and upticked into a Cat 2, kind of right as the impact started. So here it is right now, the center of circulation up in this area right here, 90-mile-per-hour winds, moving northeast 24 miles an hour. It's really going to pick up speed here. When it catches the jet stream, just rockets off to the north and east with those upper level steering. Winds right now on the land, not too bad. Ocean City 16 miles an hour, 21 miles an hour in Atlantic City. So that's more what you'd consider breezy as opposed to very strong winds. Wind gusts, obviously a little bit higher, 30 miles an hour in Atlantic City. Here's a buoy offshore here, 29 miles an hour. And Ocean City coming in at 29 miles an hour as well. Obviously the strongest winds right out here over the ocean. And for the most part, the rest of this storm, they'll be out over the water. But tonight in through Cape Cod, Massachusetts, especially out towards Provincetown, they will get kind of a glancing blow up to tropical storm force winds possible later this evening. There it is on radar, still pretty well defined, holding together pretty well. And again, you'll see these kind of elongate and move quicker as the jet stream picks it up. We have the cold front right here, which is steering Arthur right here. And another thing you're seeing is, see this dry air indicated by the orange and reds? See how in the last couple of frames right there, see how it's being sucked into the circulation? That also will continue to weaken Arthur as it moves northeastward. So I think the people left with a more direct impact, Cape Cod, Massachusetts, and then by tomorrow, down east Maine. Viv?
All right, Hurricane Arthur is moving northward, but it did sweep across North Carolina, the coastal areas, flooding some of the streets and knocking down trees and power poles. We'll keep you updated on the aftermath and where it's going from this point on.
Sometimes the best used car on the road is the one you're still using. Right now, get a synthetic blend oil change, including a free battery check for only $19.99 at Firestone Complete Auto Care. Whatever you drive a Firestone.
Wait! Prilosec's not made for immediate heartburn relief. Zantac's different. Zantac rushes relief in as little as 30 minutes. Prilosec can take 24 hours. Zantac, no pill relieves heartburn faster.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm on it. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
You're covered, Kevin.
Thanks, Melinda.
I have blah blah insurance, so person come help.
Grandma. Dad, look who it is.
I see who it is.
6 callers ahead of us, Jimmy.
You're not helping.
Having insurance isn't the same as having State Farm. There to help you anytime, anywhere, anyway. That's getting to a better state.
What makes Florida's natural orange juice taste so uniquely fresh and delicious? Is it the rich Florida soil or the perfect blend of sunshine, rain, and temperature? Maybe it's the fact that Florida's natural oranges are never imported. They're raised right here in Florida and passed with care from our hands to yours. 100% pure, 100% Florida. Florida's natural. Try our new citrus smoothies in the chilled juice section next to our orange juice.
Summer days drifting away to the summer nights. Tell me more.
Twizzlerize your summer fun with Twizzlers, the twist you can't resist.
Want to celebrate the 4th without little uninvited guests? Stop by your neighborhood Ace to get Ortho Home Defense Max with Comfort Wand, just $9.99 after $3.
This is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
Introducing Thompson's Water Seal Waterproofing Stain. The seal just got better. With stain and sealer in one and easy-to-choose colors, exceptional beauty and protection have never been easier. New Thompson's Water Seal Waterproofing Stain. Available at the Home Depot.
David's heart attack didn't come with a warning. Today, his doctor has him on a Bayer aspirin regimen to help reduce the risk of another one. If you've had a heart attack, be sure to talk to your doctor before you begin an aspirin regimen.
Currently in our area, 79 degrees with a heavy thunderstorm. Independence Day, mixed. Tonight, partly cloudy with a slight chance of thunderstorms. Low 76. Chance of rain 30%. Here's our 7-day out.
All right, well, that's what was happening late last night, early this morning with Arthur. The good news is damage not as bad as anticipated.
All right, that is definitely the good news, but let's get you updated on the latest information now on Hurricane Arthur. And we have information about recovery efforts in North Carolina's Hyde County. Officials are issuing a curfew for Ocracoke Island between 10 p.m. and 6 a.m. each day until power is fully restored. The Tideline EMC estimates restoration of power to Hyde's mainland by later this afternoon. However, power for Ocracoke Island is projected to not be fully restored until Sunday night.
Time for games of Monopoly there, I guess. Yeah. Well, one of the areas along the North Carolina coast that really felt the punch of Arthur, obviously, the Outer Banks.
Yeah, storm surge, a big component to this hurricane. The Weather Channel's Dave Malkoff shows us why.
Hey guys, we got 6 inches of good old-fashioned storm surge just off Highway 12, the main drag that takes you between Nags Head and Cape Hatteras all the way down there. Look, this side of the road is flooded, this side is passable. That's what storm surge does to roadways here and bridges. It cuts them off. It's a real big problem, probably one of the biggest problems that happen with hurricanes. The person who would know about that is Mark Sudduth. He is a hurricanologist?
Yeah, nobody
they like hurricane chaser. That sounds better than hurricanologist, but I study the impacts of hurricanes on people, on geography, our history. I'm not a forecaster and I'm not a meteorologist. I'm a geographer, so that's what I do.
But you love this stuff and you've been doing it for 15 years. Come back here. Let's talk about your window on your chasing truck. This is not
what it looks like.
This is not hurricane damage. This is
not
peripheral.
Oh, look what happened to him. I was sitting there just waiting for the water to go away, very peaceful and quiet. And then a bird comes right into the back of the Tahoe, and that shatters like a shotgun went off. So that's a bird strike. First time ever. I couldn't believe it.
A bird strike, and you're not driving a 727.
Right.
We've got a little bit of glass on top of this Pelican case, but if you can move it here, we can talk about a brand new technology that is covered in tinted safety glass here that we are using here at the Weather Channel. This is a technology that can tell us how storm surge is affecting the roadways in real time. What is this?
So this is a camera that we can stick out. Usually it's a security camera. It'll be in a corner of a building or something, but it's tethered. We can put this box out and everything's watertight, waterproof, and then this can actually go under the water and we can set it up anywhere. Like Hurricane Ike in 2008 in Galveston, Texas. The shot is amazing because it's from a point of view where we live, and you see the surge coming in, and the experiences that we capture are just amazing. And they help us to understand how fast the surge rises, what the process is, how the damage is done. We can put this out and it can take the damage, and it can be in harm's way while we be somewhere safe.
And just as you're talking about unmanned things, you've got back here your DJI Phantom that's very popular. These things are flying all over the place. The FAA is trying to figure out what the rules are for flying these things, but the rule from Mother Nature is you can't fly it in a hurricane.
Right. I mean, it's like you see birds that try to deal with a heavy wind, and this is the same thing. You can see the sand on there. That's not supposed to be there. I tried to launch it while the surge was still over the highway, Highway 12, and a downdraft hit it, and it planted it upside down. But they're very tough, and they can take that abuse. And I said, all right, I tried it. Nothing ventured, nothing gained.
A hurricane is always stronger than a unmanned drone that you've got there. Thanks so much, Mark. You can see his video on our website, and you can also see it right here exclusively on the Weather Channel. Back to you guys.
I need to get a drone. Everybody has a drone now.
At least he tried.
Just for like day-to-day activities. Is there traffic? Drone.
Really?
You know? I don't know. Just a thought. Hey, you want to talk about what's going on across the Northeast now? We're going to bring in Carl Parker because we want to track this storm going forward.
Yeah, we're not quite done with this storm, even though it's mostly offshore. We will get some peripheral impacts in southeastern New England, and that is where there is now a tropical storm warning in effect along Cape Cod and also out into Nantucket. Winds will be pretty strong there, we think, this evening. There's the forecast. Periods of heavy rain, winds 35 to 50 miles per hour. That's beginning later tonight, 9, 10, 11 o'clock, and then winding down in the early morning hours. High surf, rip currents, and beach erosion as well. And then that storm continues up towards Nova Scotia and Halifax. Tropical storm warnings in effect there. So here is a look at the radar and satellite picture of the entire life cycle of the storm. What's interesting is that some of the spin actually came out of Georgia. It came into Texas and Louisiana from the Gulf Coast and then dropped down to this front. And along this front, you've got a pre-existing area of spin. So that's where the whole thing developed, right in there. And then it dropped down to the south and became this tropical depression. It was first called a tropical depression on June the 30th. Then slowly moved back up into the north, became a tropical storm on the 1st, then became a hurricane just a couple of days later on the 3rd, Category 1 hurricane, and then made landfall last night at 11:15, and it took about 6 hours to cross the eastern part of North Carolina. Fortunately, was moving along about 20 miles per hour, but did cause major problems, as we have seen. So here's the visible satellite picture. There is the center of the storm, which is still cranking here. And again, we'll be taking aim on southeastern New England later on tonight. And there's a look at the rain that's ongoing. Plenty of it around New York City, and there certainly is concern about some flash flooding. There's a front that's going to be coming through here, sweeping all this away by tomorrow. But in the meantime, a lot of wet weather. There are a couple of flash flood warnings in effect, one for Kent, Providence, Washington County till 2:45. 5, and then a new one for Bristol, Plymouth counties, and that going until 3:15 Eastern Time. Vivian, over to you.
All right, thanks very much, Carl. Conditions going downhill for the northeast coast, but it is still looking good here. Look at Minneapolis right now. Temperatures are in the middle 70s in some areas. Out by the airport, it's a little chillier. We have readings in the upper 60s, but all in all, a beautiful day today over the Midwest. But stormy weekend in the Midwest. That's your weather headline. So what you're finding right now, unfortunately, won't last too long. Again, Minneapolis, look at the winds. They're out of the south at about 15 miles an hour. So becoming a little blustery. That's the biggest caveat today. But tomorrow, conditions really going downhill because we're watching this disturbance as it slides across the high plains today. So the areas that we're watching here as we look at the radar, even getting some pretty feisty storms that's developing over the extreme northeastern parts of North Dakota near the Canadian border. Hail and high winds, the biggest threat with these storms today. But as mentioned, the whole system will be pushing off to the east. So tomorrow, conditions going downhill for you, Minneapolis. So perhaps getting the fireworks off tonight, but tomorrow not looking so good. Sunday, we think the system will continue to move east, so we will start to clear out in Minneapolis, but conditions going downhill on Sunday for Chicago, Green Bay, and even over to Detroit. Back to you, Keith.
All right, thanks, Viv. While you were sleeping, Hurricane Arthur slammed into the coast. Rain and strong winds. We'll show you a recap coming up.
Currently in our area, 79 degrees with a thunderstorm. Independence Day, mixed clouds. Tonight, partly cloudy with a slight chance of thunderstorms. Low 76. Chance of rain 30%. Here's our 7-day out.
Let's unplug the past. Let's say goodbye to those. And hello to whoa. Let's find a better way to cook this. Wash that. Compare those and save these. Because you can make dinner. Or you can make dinner a breeze. Are you ready? Let's do this. More saving. More doing. That's the power of the Home Depot. Right now, this Whirlpool washer dryer, just $349 each.
Nobody told us to expect it. Intercourse that's painful due to menopausal changes. The problem isn't likely to go away on its own. So it's time we do something about it. And there's help. Premarin Vaginal Cream, a prescription that does what no over-the-counter product was designed to do. It provides estrogens to help rebuild vaginal tissue and makes intercourse more comfortable. Premarin Vaginal Cream treats vaginal changes due to menopause and moderate to severe painful intercourse caused by these changes. Don't use Premarin Vaginal Cream if you've had unusual bleeding, breast or uterine cancer, blood clots, liver problems, stroke, or heart attack, are allergic to any of its ingredients, or think you're pregnant. Side effects may include headache, pelvic pain, breast pain, vaginal bleeding, and vaginitis. Estrogens may increase your chances of getting cancer of the uterus, strokes, blood clots, or dementia, so use it for the shortest time based on goals and risks. Estrogen should not be used to prevent heart disease, heart attack, stroke, or dementia. Ask your doctor about Premarin Vaginal Cream and go to PremarinVaginalCream.com. This is worth talking about.
Hi, Adam Richman here, guy from TV/Beefeater/Burger Lover. Be sure you have 100% beef that's all natural, like this ground beef that I picked up at Walmart. For a great burger, here's a tip for grilling it up just right. Leave your burgers in peace. Don't poke them, don't move them, and definitely don't press them down with a spatula. Just throw them on a grill, flip it once, and you're on your way to burger bliss.
Try ground beef from Walmart today. It's 100% guaranteed or your money back.
So, have you heard about this new Lancaster? Buttery rich, smooth, and surprisingly soft creams. So you give one a try, and wow. It's new Lancaster. It's caramel reimagined.
Sonic has like every slush flavor someone could ever want.
That's right. This is basically Slush headquarters.
Where sour blue raspberry plans world domination.
What?
Get colorful with new Sonic slushes, now available with Nerds Candy. This is how you Sonic.
That's smooth. Transform your worn weather deck into a beautiful barefoot-friendly surface with Olympic Rescue It wood and concrete resurfacer.
Who are you talking to?
Olympic Rescue It from America's most trusted brand since 1938. Available at Lowe's.
Ugh, the stress.
New Coppertone Clearly Sheer sunscreens. Barely noticeable and face-friendly for beach, pool, and sunny days. Perfect, no matter what you're wearing.
It's so on.
Coppertone Clearly Sheer. It's on.
I'm a loving husband and a real good dad, but weeds just make me rattlesnake mad. Well, Roundup has a sharpshooting wand. I'm sending them weeds to the great beyond. Roundup. Yeah. No need to pump, just point and shoot. Hit them in the leaves and it kills to the root. Round fences, trees, even mulched beds, because the only good weed is a weed that's dead. Roundup. Yeah. Roundup. Yeah. With a one-touch wand.
Hurricane Arthur really started to pick up in the wee hours of the morning, around 3 o'clock.
Yeah, so we know most of you weren't awake when it happened, so we want to show you what it was like through the eyes of two guys who were awake, Jim Cantore and Mike Seidel.
We're getting these gusts now over 50, pushing 60 miles an hour just ahead of the eye wall. And the water, the highest we've seen, in fact, going higher than the high tide did midday on Friday. The water just came right up to here, and from here to the hotel is about 20 yards. That's it. This is not a very wide beach. A huge cut now, and we've got a big drop off here. It's sad to see. Now, tendency is over time, a week or so, the beach will kind of rebuild itself a little bit. So, you know, not all of the sand is lost for good, but the winds are just howling out here. We're getting sandblasted, and from what I can tell, we're still in pretty good shape. Power's on, at least here in Kill Devil Hills. Now, remember, we're on the north side of the Outer Banks. This is a wider section of territory. Unlike Highway 12, down where Jim is, and Dansby down towards Buxton, it's very narrow, and the water goes from the ocean side over to the sound side. That's what is going on. We know that is happening down there from reports around Frisco. Up here, we've got a lot more width, so that's not going to be an issue. But again, we've got this issue, the surge and the beach erosion, not getting up to property, at least here in this part of Kill Devil Hills. And then once the storm goes by after sunrise, we'll see the winds come back around to the west-northwest and bring the Pamlico Sound, and I should say the Albemarle Sound up here on the northern side of the Outer Banks. That'll bring the water back over, and because it's not very deep, that'll happen in about 30 minutes to an hour. It'll increase very, very quickly. And by the way, you cannot get onto the Outer Banks for now. Obviously, you can't from that direction from the south, but from the north, 158 coming in from Norfolk, Virginia Beach, those areas, Raleigh, they've got that closed. They want to make sure we get through this and make sure everything's A-OK.
Guys, here's the deal. Pamlico Sound is now coming back onto Hatteras Island. I mean, since I left you from the break, we've already seen it come up about 2 feet, okay? It's already, look at how high those wave runners are. I mean, they were all the way down on the ground. There was no water in here because the wind blew it back, but now the winds are shifting on the west-southwest. You can see the sound coming in very fast. Now, we told you earlier about Mark's camera. It's right here in a box, okay? And once the water comes in, and that water could easily get this high from where I'm standing, it's gonna float. So we're gonna see the surge coming in. We're gonna see it take that box and do away with it. But you know, the key is we've got. I'm actually walking up in elevation right now, and we think that this water could actually get about this high right here in the parking lot. So we're going to watch this unfold. It's happening very quickly, very quickly. Water coming up. You know, we had this initial push, and it's still coming in. I mean, you can literally see it rising. That is amazing how quick that happened. So remember, the wind holding back the sound when it was offshore here or from the east, and now that it's come around from the west, you can really see it just bring that water in. I mean, look at this. When I left you last, I was down here talking. Now I'm way up here, and here's where the water is right now. So this is how we get the flooding. This is the big concern here and what we're going to deal with as we work our way through the morning hours here, guys. And hopefully nobody's trapped out on the roads or whatnot, because we do think that some of these areas are going to flood.
All right, that's kind of a look back on it, but we want to keep you updated on what's going on right now, because this thing's right off the coast here. And we just got a report that JFK is at a ground stop right now for winds and rain, and there it is.
And you can see why. Very heavy rain bands coming in, all wrapping around Hurricane Arthur. Adam, can you zoom out a little bit so we can show pretty much the center of circulation with this system? Because it's just off the coast there. As it moves northward, there it is. You can see that center of circulation, that little dot there. That's the center of Hurricane Arthur. Again, it is still a hurricane. We need to emphasize this as it rides up the coast now, and it's pretty much parallel to the Jersey Shore, but it's bringing in some pretty heavy rain bands.
Okay, let's take a look now live top of the rock cam. And you know, New York City right now, it doesn't look that bad if you look out at it, but those heavy rain bands lashing on shore, wind gusts 25, 30 miles an hour. So yeah, we're talking about what happened, but we got to go forward too as well. And you've seen what Hurricane Arthur has done to North Carolina. Now the impacts on the East Coast, as we just mentioned.
All right, we'll keep you updated as it slowly continues to move up the coast here. You can see the red flag warnings up the coast here, even the coast of Massachusetts.
People all over the world know us, but they don't yet know we're a family. We're right where you need us. At the next job, next adventure, or at the next exit. Helping you explore super destinations and do everything under the sun. 12 brands, more hotels than anyone else in the world. So wherever you want to be, whatever you want to do, chances are we're already there. Save up to 25% and earn bonus points when you book at WyndhamRewards.com.
Searching with devotion for a snack that isn't lame, but this takes my breath away.
Currently in our area, 79 degrees. Independence Day, mixed. Tonight, partly cloudy with a slight chance of thunderstorms. Low 76. Chance of rain 30%. Here's our
So, Duke, what do you think of our new Bush's Baked Beans video game?
I think I'm getting the hang of it.
Okay, now pick up the specially cured bacon, hit it with the brown sugar. Now, roll that beautiful bean footage. Yes! Bush's Baked Beans are slow cooked according to our secret family recipe for big flavor. High score! You get to put your name on the Wall of Fame. Whoa, game over.
Aw, you're no fun.
Enjoy Bush's Baked Beans, still made from our secret family recipe.
Enjoy Bush's Baked Beans, still made from our secret family recipe.
From safety to fuel economy to quality. Today's Chevrolet has it all. And and it's a great time to buy. During the Chevy 72-hour sale, you'll get 0% APR for 72 months, plus no monthly payments for the rest of the summer. 0% APR for 72 months, plus no monthly payments for the rest of the summer. Hurry, the Chevy 72-hour sale ends Monday. Find new roads at your local Chevy dealer.
There once was a hungry road that ate up tires, wearing down the tread and wearing out safety, leaving worried drivers with no choice but to buy new ones. Then along came the Michelin Man who proved the right tire changes everything, putting those drivers back on the road with safety that lasts. Find the right tire for you at MichelinMan.com. Michelin, a better way forward. There once was a hungry road that ate up tires, wearing down tread and wearing out safety. Then along came the Michelin Man, who got drivers back on the road with safety that lasts. Find your tire at MichelinMan.com. Michelin, a better way forward.
If you want the best of baseball all season long, Xfinity from Comcast gives you the best seat in the house. With MLB Network, you get live games 4 nights a week, plus 24/7 insider coverage and live look-ins every night. It's your all-access pass to all of Major League Baseball. Get MLB Network plus over 80 additional channels when you upgrade to Digital Preferred TV for just $9.99 more a month for 12 months. Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. Call 1-800-XFINITY today.
Thursdays are now
Gotta Watch Thursday!
Join me, Amy Morrison,
For the Beauty Report.
and join me, Colleen Lopez, for The List. It's always fun. It's always innovative. We bring to the HSN customer a beauty experience. The List is your go-to destination for what's happening in the world of fashion. Colleen really understands style. She makes it effortless and easy. Amy lives, breathes, and sleeps beauty. Great beauty and phenomenal fashions finally come together.
Tune in Thursdays from 7 to 10.
On the shipping and even pay the return postage. Try NoNo risk-free today.
This one definitely was a surprise on the backside of the storm. You know, like the storm was forecasted to come through, and you know, once it got here, just accelerate away, and it got here and it went past us, and then it just stopped. You know, and so that way we had a good amount of soundside flooding. And you know, more soundside flooding than we thought we were going to have. Not nearly as much as Irene, so we're in the clear as far as that's concerned, but definitely more than we thought we were going to have.
Yeah, the backside of that thing packed a punch for them. Luckily, the reports we're getting for damage so far, not too bad. So it was good news. Hurricane Arthur moved away from the Carolina coast this morning, but now it's heading to Cape Cod for tonight.
NECN's Justin Michaels is in Chatham, Massachusetts, where despite a red flag warning, they're hoping to move forward with 4th of July parade plans.
Here in Chatham, Massachusetts, they're not going to let some pesky storm named Arthur stop their 4th of July. They're going to be having the parade today, despite the fact that the hurricane red flags are flying high here at Chatham Light. When we got here this morning, they were not flying, but the Coast Guard officials came out, put those bad boys up, and there they are blowing in the breeze. But despite that, take a look at some video from earlier this morning, much earlier as a matter of fact, as people here in Chatham are staking out their little pieces of real estate along Main Street, of course, in preparation to have the best seats in the house for the 4th of July parade. This is something they do annually, storm or no storm, and this hurricane isn't going to stop them this year. Take a listen to a few folks right now.
I think it's a calculated risk they're taking. They think it's not going to rain until about noontime, so let's get it in.
We're a hardy group down here. You know, we got a good fisherman's tradition, and we're going out.
Now, this year's 4th of July parade here in Chatham, Massachusetts is titled Surf, Sand, and the Deep Blue Sea. 3 things this town does not have any shortage of. From Chatham on Cape Cod, I'm Justin Michaels for the Weather Channel.
All right. It's not like that anymore, by the way. That obviously shot earlier in the day because things are falling apart a bit. Let's go over to Carl Parker because, Carl, now we have the latest advisory on Arthur.
Yeah, we do, and the storm continues to pick up forward speed, so it really was moving over North Carolina, and it will be even more so as it passes Cape Cod tonight. So it's going to be just a few hours when we see the strongest wind there in southeastern Mass. So here's the new advisory: 90-mile-per-hour storm, still a hurricane, moving northeast at 25 miles per hour, and the pressure 977. And I want to show you what's going on in Atlantic City right now, where it's been a very wet day today. Not the greatest fourth or winds coming out of the north, about 14 miles per hour. People venturing out nonetheless. We will certainly begin to clear out a little bit later on today, and it will turn out to be a pretty nice Sunday, as a matter of fact. And let's turn the clock back and take a look at when this storm made landfall. This actually turned out to be a pretty good forecast. It was a Category 2 storm at landfall, 11:15 Eastern Time, had 100-mile-per-hour wind, and we actually got a lot of reports of 100-mile-per-hour wind. And this is the radar loop. And over a 6-hour period, it made its way from just east of Beaufort, across the Sounds there, and across the Outer Banks. And there were a number of reports from these thin little islands, those are the Outer Banks, of winds of 90 and 100 miles per hour, at least in wind gusts. So quite a storm, but at least it did move along very quickly. And right now, as we look at the satellite picture, you'll notice there's not quite as much in the way of that deeper orange and red color. So the cloud tops are warming. That's an indication that the storm is not as strong as it once was, and it's also taking on some non-tropical characteristics as very strong upper level wind begins to affect the system and pump in some drier air into that circulation. And so this is what's happening right now. We've got some wind lingering here, but the core of the storm is well away from land. Its closest approach is going to bring it near the southeastern parts of New England, but it will still remain offshore. A lot of rain out ahead of it, though, and in fact, there are flash flood warnings to tell you about now. One of those in Bristol, Plymouth counties going until 3:15, and another one to the west of that. That is for Kent, Providence, and Washington counties until 2:45. And there's a look at the RPM. We'll take the system up into, again, areas just off the coast of Massachusetts. So we're talking about the islands and the Cape getting the worst of the weather, 50, 60 mile per hour wind at 9, 10, 11 o'clock tonight. And then gradually those winds will come down going into early tomorrow morning. Viv, back to you.
All right, thanks very much, Carl. You know, the worst may be over for North Carolina.
Yeah, but the remnants of Hurricane Arthur are still expected to impact the fourth forecast for some of you in the Northeast.
Our coverage continues with a look at some of the aftermath, and of course, we will keep you updated on where the system is going and how it's going to impact New England.
Currently in our area, 79 degrees under cloudy skies. Independence Day, mixed clouds and sun with scattered thunderstorms. High 85. Chance of rain 60%. Tonight, partly cloudy with a slight chance of thunderstorms. Low 76. Chance of rain 30%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
From the Weather Channel headquarters in Atlanta, you're watching Hurricane Central.
All right, welcome in, and video here's team driving in the Outer Banks and showing some of the damage. A lot of it, you have a combination of sand being pushed across there and also storm surge with water on the roads.
Oh, tell me about it. This video shows raging wind and water being pushed onshore as the hurricane rolled into Hatteras Island. Take a look. Roads basically turning into rivers over the area.
Yeah, storm surge has been a big factor with this system. Take a look at this video from Hatteras Island as well. And at the bottom of that water there is is what would be a road not passable at the moment, of course. Well, Hurricane Arthur causing fireworks of its own on this 4th of July. Welcome to Weather Center Live. I'm Keith Carson.
And I'm Vivian Brown. Yes, it is the 4th. Happy 4th of July to you. But Hurricane Arthur is the first Category 2 hurricane to make landfall in the U.S. since 2008.
Yeah, it's been a little while. Luckily, let's get you updated with the latest information on Arthur. Currently, all ferry routes servicing North Carolina's, how do you say that? Ocracoke Island are suspended. That's because visitors' access to the island has been restricted until further notice. Although ferry tolls for departures from Ocracoke are being waived, any remaining visitors are strongly encouraged to leave the island as soon as ferry operations resume. Officials there are asking anyone on the island to conserve water until power is fully restored. The water plant there is operating on generator power, obviously, at the moment.
All right, so let's bring in our hurricane specialist, Carl Parker, and he has the very latest, of course, the advisory from the National Hurricane Center.
Yeah, and not a lot of change, Viv. We're looking at a Category 1 storm with 90-mile-per-hour wind. It is picking up a little bit of forward speed, and we'll take a look at where it is in a moment. I want to start you out in New York. 72 degrees right now. We've got low clouds around, and we've had persistent rain. There is now actually a ground stop at JFK Airport. That's going until 2:15, another 15 minutes or so. So obviously, travel has been snarled by the presence of all this wet weather, which is now coming up mostly into New England. So we'll zoom down into the tri-state area. Still some lingering lighter rain, and obviously not a great day on the Jersey Shore today, but at least this thing is passing well off to the west. Plenty of wet weather coming up across Long Island Sound into Connecticut, Massachusetts, and in fact, a lot of heavy rain. I mean, look at the bright oranges and reds there. That is really coming down on the South Shore, down towards Buzzards Bay. Flash flood warning, Bristol, Plymouth counties until 3:15, and another one now to the west. That is for Kent, Providence, and Washington counties going until 2:45. So the storm will continue to pass to the north, but just off to the south and east of Cape Cod and Nantucket. That's where tropical storm warnings are in effect. And so what we're anticipating is periods of heavy rain, winds of 35 to 50 miles per hour. They may get up to 60 miles per hour for a time tonight, and I'll show you the wind forecast in a moment. And then that storm into early tomorrow morning moves up into Nova Scotia and Halifax, some fairly strong wind there. So here's the model forecast, and we'll take a look at these stronger winds that again really start to kick in by later tonight. So there we see the center of circulation just south and east of those islands. Winds getting up 35 to 40 miles per hour. That is sustained wind, so that means you're gusting in that case up to 50, maybe 55 miles per hour. Then that'll go until late tonight, midnight tonight. Still very strong wind there right along the coast. Center of circulation probably just due east of the islands at that time, and then it will continue up and towards Nova Scotia and down East Maine, and then here too we're expecting to see very strong wind and winds gusting up to 50, 60 miles per hour along the coast there in Nova Scotia. And right now there's the latest from the Hurricane Center. It's a 90-mile-per-hour storm moving northeast at 25 miles per hour, and the pressure is now down to 977 millibars. And there's the satellite picture, a weakening system certainly, so just a glancing blow as it moves up and past the islands over the next several hours here. Keith, Viv, back to you.
All right, thanks very much, Carl. Definitely following Hurricane Arthur. You know, an incredible situation. In fact, a miracle happened as our own Dave Malkoff was in the middle of Hurricane Arthur.
Yeah, a woman gave birth on the Manteo Bridge in Manteo, North Carolina. Take a look at this.
We've made it to the other side of the bridge that connects Manteo to Nags Head. Look at all this storm surge that is cutting off the bridge and cutting off access for a woman who's in labor in a car, and she needs to get to the other side desperately so she can have that baby. Let's talk to this officer up here. Hey.
Yeah.
Where is she?
Right back in that truck right now.
She's right back here? Hey, you guys, is everything all right in there?
We're good.
Yeah, up front here. Just hang on with me here. Here. Whoop. Oh. Well, there she goes. This is I guess you'd call that a deuce and a half. That truck there, the National Guard, They're going to take them over the storm surge with the baby. She's in labor right now. Thought she was in the ambulance. She's actually in this deuce and a half right now. Watch them go through the water here. Think about this. She's in labor. She's going through, all the pains of labor, and she's, having contractions. And look at that. Look at that. You do not want to cross that in any other vehicle but something that has those big wheels there. I hope she makes it to safety. I hope it all turns out well. But you know what? If it's a boy, they better name it Arthur. We are on the flooded bridge between Manteo and Nags Head. I'm Dave Malkoff, the Weather Channel. Back to you.
All right, thanks very much, Dave. Another Arthur is born. Okay, let's check on Hurricane Arthur as it moves up the New England coast, but also we have a cold front that's approaching the New England coast too, so kind of a squeeze play here.
Live look at your radar. We have some flooding going on. Providence involved in this. Warwick and Cranston also involved in this. Some really heavy rain coming on in here. New Bedford area as well. Fall River. These are notorious flooding spots. I know this from being from Massachusetts. So some very heavy rain now pushing into the 128-495 belt. Up in Maine, showers and storms. That's associated with the cold front. As Viv mentioned, we've got a cold front here, and the heaviest moisture is down here. Those are the outer bands of Arthur. So the real tropical stuff in there. Today, rain and wind. A glancing blow tonight and through Cape Cod, Massachusetts. Tomorrow, down East Maine is rainy and windy, but Boston, New York, D.C., all clearing out. And as we head into Sunday, everybody clears out and really nice. So you're trading the 4th for a nice weekend. Viv?
All right, thanks, Keith. Well, we do have crews spread out along the coast surveying the damage from Hurricane Arthur and keeping an eye on where it's headed next. When we come back, NBC's Sarah Dolph joins us with more reports.
Heartburn. Did someone say burn? Try Alka-Seltzer Relief Chews. They work just as fast and are proven to taste better than Tums Smoothies assorted fruit.
Amazing.
Yeah, I get that a lot.
Alka-Seltzer Heartburn Relief Chews. Enjoy the relief.
The best part of coming together is how delicious it can be. Hershey's S'mores. The unmistakable taste that reminds us that life is delicious.
Currently in our area, 79 degrees under cloudy skies. Independence Day, mixed. Tonight, partly cloudy with a slight chance of thunderstorms. Low 76. Chance of rain 30%. Here's our
Coasties are back, and Monday, the Weather Channel is the only place to find them. Coast Guard, Cape Disappointment. Monday nights at 9 on the Weather Channel.
Let's unplug the past. Let's say goodbye to those. And hello to whoa. Let's find a better way to cook this. Wash that. Compare those and save these. Because you can make dinner. Or you can make dinner a breeze. Are you ready? Let's do this. More saving, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot. Right now, this Maytag French door refrigerator, just $9.98.
Sonic has like every slush flavor someone could ever want.
That's right. This is basically slush headquarters.
Where sour blue raspberry plans world domination.
What?
Get colorful with new Sonic slushes, now available with Nerds candy. This is how you Sonic.
I'm a loving husband and a real good dad, but weeds just make me rattlesnake mad. Well, Roundup has a sharpshooting wand. I'm sending them weeds to the great beyond. Roundup. Yeah. No need to pump, just point and shoot. Hit them in the leaves and it kills to the root. Round fences, trees, even mulched beds, because the only good weed is a weed that's dead. Roundup. Yeah. Roundup. Yeah. With a one-touch wand.
Hi, Adam Richmond here, guy from TV/Beefeater/Burger Lover. Be sure you have 100% beef that's all natural, like this ground beef that I picked up at Walmart. For a great burger, here's a tip for grilling it up just right. Leave your burgers in peace. Don't poke them, don't move them, and definitely don't press them down with a spatula. Just throw them on a grill, flip it once, and you're on your way to burger bliss.
Try ground beef from Walmart today. It's 100% guaranteed or your money back.
There's been minimal damage, and right now we have people from throughout the world beginning again to enjoy North Carolina beaches, and that's exactly what we want.
All right, well, that was North Carolina Governor Pat McCrory talking about Hurricane Arthur's impact to his state.
Enjoy North Carolina beaches all over again. But Arthur, of course, was the 2014 Atlantic hurricane season's first hurricane. Now, it made landfall late last night near Cape Lookout, North Carolina, as a Category 2 hurricane.
Yeah, Arthur delivered a powerful punch before racing out to sea. NBC's Sarah Doloff joins us from Kill Devil Hills with the latest. And Sarah, you know, if you would have no audio in the shot, you know things are improving because I see a sandcastle being built behind you there.
That is the sign of recovery right there. People back to work building sandcastles. They were all, of course, swept over, knocked over by the powerful waves last night, as well as those 60 to 70 mile per hour winds that we had here and that sideways rain. So people finally really getting their holiday started again after a night of hunkering down in shelter, trying to stay warm, safe, and dry. Now, North Carolina's governor says right now the damage was actually very minimal. There have been no reports of serious injuries or casualties as a result of the storm, and they want to keep it that way. So today they are continuing to urge people to stay out of the water, no swimming, no surfing, although there are a few people out there doing both. They say that a rip current is so strong and so powerful that even if you're an experienced swimmer and from this area, it may catch you off guard.
All right, thanks, Sarah. You know, quick question for you. Did you get the feeling that leading into this there was any conflict between Chamber of Commerce, so to speak, and keeping people safe?
You know, they walked a really fine line there because on one hand, this is one of the busiest tourist weeks of the year, and on the other hand, you don't want to put those tourists, or an estimated 250,000 people, at risk. So they really wanted to ensure people that were going to stay safe while at the same time encouraging them to stay and keep continuing to urge them to spend their money here.
All right, thank you, Sarah. Yeah, fine line for sure. It looks like they walked it correctly, at least. Let's go to Vid to talk about some places where the weather is nothing but nice and warm.
Yeah, no doubt about it. The Chamber of Commerce would win here in Kiowa Island, South Carolina, because, of course, Arthur has moved on away from the immediate southeast coast, and we are just out enjoying our 4th of July here along the beach. It's just a gorgeous afternoon here. Temperatures in the low 90s, so that's hot enough, of course, to make us want to get on out and enjoy the beach. So as we look at the weekend for the Southeast, a nice weekend is in store across the region, not only for the coastal areas because Arthur is moving away, but even the interior regions with temperatures right now in the low to middle 80s. Dew points are low, and that means it's a dry, thin air mass instead of the heavy, thick, humidity that typically builds during the summer season over the southeast. You get that heat and humidity, kind of a double slam, but that's not the case today, because right now we have temperatures in the low to middle 80s, and again, the humidity levels are not that high. Now tomorrow, things will change a little bit. It's going to be a little warmer tomorrow with temperatures even in the low 90s around Montgomery, but Atlanta about 87. That's about average for this time of year. And then Sunday, we talk about a high of 86 in Atlanta. Back to you, Keith.
All right, thanks, Viv. We're going to show you where Arthur is now and where it's going next, coming up.
Bridgestone's new Drive Guard tires are engineered to take a puncture and go up to 50 miles.
We can drive 50 miles on a flat, and you have an app that makes nails pop up?
Yep.
We could rule the world. But I've got carpool at 3, though, so
that time.
We could, mess with the world.
It's your time at Best Western this summer, so enjoy your family time, your breakfast time, and your adventure time, and get a free night for your next time. Stay 3 separate times and get a free night. Book now at bestwestern.com.
David's heart attack didn't come with a warning. Today, his doctor has him on a Bayer aspirin regimen to help reduce the risk of another one. If you've had a heart attack, be sure to talk to your doctor before you begin an aspirin regimen.
Great rate.